Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today's video is going to be an overview of some eyeshadow palettes that I've used again after not using them for some time. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today's video is going to be an overview of 5 palettes that I wanted to use again this month to see how I feel about them now that I've not used them for a while. Some of these I wanted to use in conjunction, so I didn't do as many looks with those individually because I've used those palettes as is, so I have reviews up for these already. If you want to know, like if you want to see swatches and all of that, I'll make sure to link you to those videos so you can watch them. But yeah, today I have 5 palettes to chat about with you, and let me just get to it. Before we get into the video, it may be good to know who I am and what I like to do on this channel for people who are new here. Hi, my name is Maaike. I live in the Netherlands. I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone. I really enjoy reviewing makeup, which is why I've been doing it for more than a decade. I love eyeshadow palettes, Essence and Catrice, and getting the use out of my makeup, and that's where this little series comes in. So if you'd like to stay tuned for more, and I hope you'd like to consider subscribing. So yes, 5 palettes that I wanted to go back to, but a couple of them I actually wanted to use in conjunction because I had this theory in my head that some of my Shroud palettes were really good, but as standalone palettes, I felt some of it didn't really go together as well. So I wanted to see if I could do like a couple of looks to see how some of it combined and to test my theory of these palettes just working really well together. So that's what I have here today. And then I have some BH and I have some Sigma. So let me show you. I've done some looks with this throughout the week, so I'll be inserting those as you are viewing this video so you can see what I've been up to and what these looks actually look like. So I'm gonna have to be very honest, as the day I'm sitting down to film this video, I haven't quite managed to do any of the looks that you are about to see. So can I really say much about how the palettes pull together without having actually done it? I doubt it, so that's why I'm going to be a little bit careful today and just tell you a little bit and rave about these again, because that's really why I want to go back to these, because these are palettes that I love, and I'm doing this video series just to go back to them and not let them like gather dust in my makeup collection. That's like the true aim. That's why I started making this series, to get more use out of it, but I have just found with, you know, trying new stuff as well to keep the channel going and to have palettes to even go back to also keep things interesting and fresh and stuff on the channel. It's the past couple of months have been a little bit harder to have, you know, the filming schedule of when I need to actually film the videos coincide with me having already done the looks for this video. But bear with me as I chat about the Sigma Enchanted. So if you would like to see what palettes will be featured in this video, then I recommend you stay tuned for my Shop My Stashes. I do those once a month, usually on a Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month. I like to do a Shop My Stash, and then I always show you what palettes will be featured in both my eyeshadow palette review that month, but also what palettes I want to go back to. And this month, I really wanted to go back to the Sigma Enchanted because I think it is a great fall palette if you ignored half of what's going on here. I have mentioned several times how like the Sigma quality is okay, I enjoy it, but it's definitely not my favorite. But what's definitely a little irksome for me is that these Sigma color stories don't necessarily quite come together for me. So this part of the palette, I ignore. Like, I don't even look at it. And then we're left with this. And this is the grungy, neutral, perfect for fall color story of your lifetime. This makes it a lot brighter and spring-like almost, like if you were to cover this part up. I feel it's more of a spring palette this way, and this way it's more of a fall palette. And since fall is my favorite season, that's just where things come in. It's got a really incredible dark green that I absolutely adore. And so that's probably what I've done for you when you do see a look with this, that I've probably done something with the dark green and then this and perhaps that blue-brown sort of shimmering thing that it has. It's got a really nice like cooler tone neutral here. I tend to ignore this warmer toned orange because that again doesn't really go with the vibe for me. This has got a nice like pinky flesh tone color as well, and it's really perfectly to blend this out. And then this can look a little bit purple, so I know that from using it in the past. And also this brown here has a little bit of a plum undertone to it, which is why it works really well for my skin tone. But yeah, my go-to look with this is this in the crease, and then something with the greens, and then this on the lower lash line. That's like what I do, and then maybe use the black as liner, you know? That's pretty much all I do with this. So that's probably the look I will create for you. So this is the easiest one to chat about today because I already know exactly what look I like with this. And a forest green like this, a matte, they don't often come in palettes, which is why I appreciate this palette a lot. But to be quite fair, this is not my favorite eyeshadow quality, you could say. So do I enjoy my Sigma palette? Yes. Would I repurchase this? That's a question for another day because I have another video series about that, but my guess right now would be no. The Blueberry Muffin from ABH is another one where it's like, blues for fall. I don't think a lot of people would want to wear blues this time round, but actually the Blueberry Muffin isn't that blue heavy, I find. And I actually almost decluttered it. I initially decided when I did my decluttering series earlier in the year that I wanted to get rid of this because this was a bit of a letdown. It doesn't have a really good crease shade for me. It just has a gray. Everything else is far too dark or far too light and peachy, so that doesn't really work. I wish this had like a taupe or like something like if that gray had just a little bit more brown, it would have worked a lot better. But that's just me. And then these two look brown in the pan, but they pull purple and red. So that's why that's always thrown me off. But these two shades in the middle, these two shimmers, are incredible. And you can go full-on blue with this if you stick to some of the blues in here. But essentially there are like, what, 5 blues? And everything else is a neutral. So you can do a full-on blue look with it, but I definitely want to test out because I think when I did the looks for the review for this, I definitely stuck to like, you know, the neutrals and like the blues, but now I wanted to see if I mixed and matched it, if it was a little bit more successful for me. And I do also appreciate like some of these lighter shimmers here. So this palette definitely has something going for it that I do appreciate. And I don't think I ever tried blending these together either. So that's, I think, the plan, and that's the look I will have done for you. So yeah, this is good. BH Cosmetics is one of the best affordable makeup brands. Now that they have been purchased by Makeup Revolution, though, I'm just not really interested anymore in what they have to offer. They have not really come out with anything new either, and these like 12 pans or 16 pans that they used to do, I don't think any of them have been updated, and the line is just incredibly barren, it feels. So I'm not sure whether Makeup Revolution is going to let BH Cosmetics die a very slow death, or whether they're still brewing on like a really big invention and injection into the BH Cosmetics brand. I'm still hoping for the latter, but I'm thinking the first thing is going to happen. That they're just selling off whatever dead stock is still lying about, and they're trying to make a buck that way, but that they're not really going to be releasing anything new. The only thing I think they've come out with is like those little 4 pans, and those look like they were conceptualized when it was still a BH Cosmetics only brand, and then they just had that lying on a shelf, and now they're executing that idea. But ever since, we haven't really gotten anything new, at least not what I remember seeing. But yeah, the Blueberry Muffin and Love in London and the Passion in Paris, they are some of my favorite drugstore palettes. And the reason why I was gonna declutter them, especially this one and the Passion in Paris, is because they aren't perfect. And I have so many other palettes that are perfect. Like I have some really good blue tone palettes, but I was like, no, I need to get it out of my brain that this is actually not a blue tone palette for me, but that it's got some other interesting shades, and I definitely want to do that look with this. So you'll find out together with me as I'm editing this video and you're watching it, whether it was successful or not. And finally, the last 3 palettes I need to mention are all by Shroud Cosmetics. And especially these two have not really come together for me whenever I've used them as standalone palettes for the individual reviews I did on this. I think I got this on launch. This was, of course, Drama. I ordered it that October, and then I didn't get it until April. So the Hello the It's Freakin' Bats by Betty Bean and Shroud is an incredibly stunning palette. I really enjoy the look of this, but I just don't really feel that all of these tones go together. Like even if I stick to some of the green tones together and some of the purpley tones together, like this is so much brighter than this is, and this is so much more yellow tone than this is, that to me it just feels a little off. But I've always felt that, you know, some of these like greeny purpley things perhaps could go, ooh, let me hold it to the camera like this. Wait, hold on. Regroup. If I hold it up like this. Like, do you just see what I mean? That this deeper teal might go with those teals in here, and maybe that darker green, and maybe that, like, that grayish tone purple can bridge the gap. So I definitely think that this is screaming a purple look to me. So that's what I'm definitely gonna do, to combine these two that way. And I actually think that maybe I can make this like a 3-look thing, because I also feel that some of these shades go together really nicely. You see those like murky, greeny shades that both of these palettes have, like this green and that one here can go with this and this. I'm trying really carefully to not knock these shadows with the edges of the palettes, but I think that can work really well. Some of the purples in here can work really well with some of the purples in here, but then I also think that some of those pinky cranberry shades can be nice with some of the warm tones that we have in here. So that's definitely the plan now going into it. In fact, oh, do you see how similar those, like this shade compared to this? Like this is a little bit more berry leaning, but they're almost the same. And the same goes for those two shimmers. They're almost the same. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But those are the 3 looks I want to do just to test that theory, to see how these combine. So I think it's going to be a look, the Arcana with the It's Freakin' Bats, the Arcana with the Moonfall, and a look with the Moonfall and the It's Freakin' Bats. That's sort of how I feel right now. I'm not sure if I managed to do that before I sit down to film this video or when this needs to go up, because this video goes up on Friday and I'm filming this on Sunday. So that means I have 4 days and I've got 5 looks to do for this video. We'll see if we manage. We'll figure something out. But yeah, those are the eye looks I want to do with this. I hope it's gonna work, but that's sort of the way these color stories work in my brain now. Like the 9 pans, I want them to just work a little bit better, and I really enjoy the Shroud formula. So if this is a way for me to just get a lot more use out of it. Now I do believe, especially the Moonfall, but I'm not sure whether the It's Freakin' Bats I have is as well. But I know that Shroud now also does magnetic palettes, so this one also feels quite heavy. These feel lighter, so maybe these are magnetic, but maybe at some point in time I might want to pull these apart and make them part of my singles collection. That's definitely something I'm playing around with, especially because some of these shades are so similar-ish. But yeah, the Arcana for the longest time has been one of my favorite fall tone color stories, so... And I just want to go back to this as well. So getting more use out of this to make it a little bit more versatile, because for me, this doesn't, like these two sides don't really mix. I'm not gonna lie. And if I can like get some more use out of the Moonfall and the It's Freakin' Bats this way, I just thought that that could be a clever thing to do. So yeah, thank you so very much for joining me today. I really hope you could still get something out of this video. Because to be quite fair, I do think that not having used these palettes before filming the video is a little superfluous. I'm not gonna lie. I understand. If you didn't enjoy this, I completely understand. But yeah, that's just that sometimes just things don't really work out because I only have time to film during the weekend nowadays because I work as well. So that's why. And we're getting to that point in time where it's a little, like when I try to film later in the day, it's a little harder. So then I'd rather have something pre-filmed. So I just have to put the pictures in and then we can figure it out. So maybe I'm just gonna have to supplement a lot of voiceovers or text when I actually post the video. I'll figure something out. So yeah, thank you so very much for being here today. Thumbs up the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make several videos every single week, so if you'd like to stay tuned for that. And I hope to see you in my next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.